Welcome to Dave's Cooking Show, and for you today we have a potato bacon soup. Alright, first thing we're going to do is the bacon. Basically this is roughly 2 cups worth, or about a half a pack of bacon that I'm frying up right now. And you want to fry it till it's nice and crispy. Alright, next step. Then get yourself a good kettle, pot, Dutch oven, whatever. And you want to start by melting 4 tablespoons worth of butter. And then you want to add a cup and a half of chopped onion, diced onion, whatever you want. And then you just want to cook this, saute it in the butter till it's pretty much translucent. So, about 5 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. It's not going to take very long. Okie dokie, as you can see, the onions have reduced and are translucent. Now it's time to add 4 cups of peeled, roughly chopped potatoes. If you want them a little smaller, by all means, you can make them smaller, but I like nice, big, thick, kind of hearty chunks of potatoes in my soup. So, just a personal preference thing. And kind of give that a good stir around. And then you want to add about 3 cups of water. Or, enough to cover the potatoes. Then you want to crank this up to high, get it to a boil, and then reduce it and simmer for about 30 minutes. The water should mostly be evaporated by that point, and the potatoes fork tender. If it takes a little longer, by all means, give it a little longer. All right, next step. About halfway through, and you should be looking at something that resembles this just a little bit. Okay, now it's time to start adding the spices. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper to taste. Towards the end, you want to keep tasting this for seasoning. And then you want to add 2 tablespoons of dried parsley and a teaspoon of dill. And then just give this a stir. All right, still got a bit to go, probably about another, 15 minutes or so. Maybe 10. Just kind of go by eye. Okay, just for a little side, grab yourself a loaf of French bread and cut it into 1-inch pieces and butter one side of said pieces. And then you want to grab a block of Parmesan cheese and kind of sprinkle all these pieces of toast with Parmesan cheese. Pop them into a 400-degree oven until they're toasted. If I remember right, it took about, 3-5 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. When they're golden brown, time to put them out. Okay, and now it's time to add 3.5 cups of milk. A little more salt, a little more pepper. And it's time to add the bacon back to our soup and give this a stir. And again, you're probably looking at another somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes of simmering time. Again, it's how thick do you want your soup? If you want it a little thinner, a little bit less time. You want it a little thicker, a little bit more. It's really up to you and your personal preference. But I'd say at least 10-20 minutes. I think I went a little bit longer myself. Just remember, this is kind of the stage where you start tasting a little bit for seasoning. Closer and closer you get to serving it, that's when you ramp up your tasting of the soup. Because, again, you don't want to go blind, because you can add it, but once it's in there, it's a real bitch to get it out. The bread is nice and toasted, should be looking a little something like this. Alright, soup is just about ready to go. This is where you would make any final adjustments, but if you think it's perfect, then just simmer it to your desired consistency and serve. Alright, we're ready. Serve with a piece of that Parmesan cheese toast we were talking about, and that's it. Potato bacon soup. Done.